Breeze Nation, what is going on? This is your boy Jordan JC, Mr. Meaty, and welcome back to another episode of The Breeze. And today we got a good topic because we're talking about the wide net that the Bears have cast to try and find the right coach for the next version of this Bears team, right? And we're trying to make sure that we're getting this right. Obviously, Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren have gone over a slew of names that they've brought in for interviews coming up. And we're trying to see which one is the right guy. Obviously, you have the front runners in the Joe Brady's, the Mike Vrabels, Pete Carrolls, Mike McCarthy if he doesn't get retained by the Dallas Cowboys, and of course Ben Johnson. But there's some other names that maybe perhaps we're overlooking. I know me and Pat had talked about it the other day that maybe it's too much casting of a wide net and that some of these names probably don't even deserve a chance to actually become a head coach or actually get an interview. But I'm going to be honest with you. I did a deeper dive into one of these guys, and I have to kind of renege my statement that I had yesterday. I have to retract my statement on one Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinator, Drew Petzing. The reason why I say that is because if you look at his resume, he could possibly be a very good option for the Bears as their next head coach. And I'm going to get into why right now. But before I do that, man, all you guys, make sure that you're continuing to subscribe to the Windy City Breeze. Comment, like, share, smash that like button as always. As you've been doing, man, we appreciate the love and the support to continue to grow this brand and this channel. We're close to getting to 44,000 subscribers, man. Continue to subscribe to the channel so we can give you this great and fire content. But let's get into the topic. So Drew Petzing, just to go over his coaching history, I mean, it is extensive. It's more extensive than I actually thought. He started out in 2013 with the Cleveland Browns as a football operations intern. Then next year, from 2014 to 2015, he was with the Minnesota Vikings as an offensive assistant. From 16 to 17, he was the assistant wide receivers coach for the Vikings. 2018, he became the assistant quarterbacks coach. 2019, he was the Vikings wide receivers coach. 2020 to 2021, he became the Cleveland Browns tight end coach. 2022, he was the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, the quarterbacks coach for the Cleveland Browns. And then now, 2023 to present, he has become the offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals. And so when you think about that resume, that is a extensive list. He's been around the block for a minute. He's built up some stake in the game, if you will, with this resume, especially on the offensive side of things. And of course, with the Bears looking for their next head coach, is it important to bring somebody who's more of an offensive-minded head coach than a defensive-minded head coach? Of course, that's the question. That's the debate that's been going back and forth when you think about some of the names that have been brought in or that are considered like the Mike Vrabels, the Pete Carrolls of the world versus the Ben Johnsons and the Joe Brady's and the Petzings that are more of the new shiny toys, the offensive-minded geniuses, as they say in this league now. And so I believe that Drew Petzing actually could be a very good name that we're overlooking that might be that secret name. Of course, you heard Ryan Poles talk about that. There may be some names on here that you all don't expect. This could be a guy that when it's all said and done, of course, you know the Bears are going to Bears. He could be a finalist when it comes to them picking their next head coach. But you got to give it a little grace. Got to ask the question, well, why in the world does he fit or how does he fit into the Chicago Bears plans going forward 2025 and into the future? Well, as I just mentioned, has an offensive background. He also has he has done a great job with Arizona in developing a smash mouth rushing attack and a respectable and possibly underrated passing game. More so, he's considered to be better at getting the run game going. Of course, we saw that with the likes of the James Conner, DJ Dallas. You have Mercado there. That game, especially when you saw what they did against the Chicago Bears this past season, they put up over 200 plus in rushing yards when they faced the Bears, and so you can tell that he's very good at scheming up really good run plays. And quite honestly, that was our weakness this year. We paid $8 million to a running back who had a Pro Bowl season with the Philadelphia Eagles in DeAndre Swift, and then when he came here, he was mediocre. There were times where you could utilize him in the pass game, whether it be screens or dump offs. But when it came to DeAndre Swift's just natural running ability and trying to cut up the gut or get through certain holes or have that vision, it just wasn't there. And so the run game was very pedestrian, along with the Roshan Johnson as well, which they didn't utilize as much. And so maybe a Drew Petzing can come in and actually unlock the potential of the run game for the Bears and actually maximize what a DeAndre Swift, what a Roshan Johnson can do, or whatever other running back will be brought onto this team in the upcoming year. But here's some other stats to show you that it's also not just one dimensional. He also has a very good passing attack as well. Kyler Murray this past year, even though there's been some ups and downs with him, and he does need to work on his turnovers. He's had three. He ended the season with 3,851 passing yards, which is actually 11th in the league, and he threw for 21 touchdowns. That's 13th. Trey McBride, tight end, really up and coming tight end, had a really good breakout season, 1,146 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then, of course, the prize rookie wide receiver one that was brought off the draft boards this year, Marvin Harrison Jr., ended with 885 yards, but also a very big 8 touchdowns on the season. And so it's goes without saying that this is a very balanced attack that was going on in Arizona. It's not just the run game, but it's also the passing game that complements the run game. So now the biggest question now is, well, how do you want the offense to look? Because if we're saying that we want Caleb to be maximized and to realize his full potential, do you want an offensive coordinator that'll come in and focus more on the pass game and then the run game complementing that, or does it really matter if it actually produces wins in the long run? And in my opinion, obviously we want to win in the long run, right? Doesn't matter really how it looks if we're still getting victories, if we're still getting to the playoffs, if we're still potentially getting to the Super Bowl. Does it really matter how the offense looks as long as it's productive? And the reason why I say that is because Petzing's philosophy is to start with the rushing attack. And of course, back in the day, if you remember when the Bears actually had really good offenses, it started off with a good running game. You had the likes of a David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert. Before that, you had Matt Forte, who was one of the better running backs in Bears history. It's always been starting with the run game. Make sure you hit the defense in the mouth and then work off that. Maybe a few short passes. Maybe the play action game can get going. But in my opinion, I feel like if you want to maximize Caleb Williams, clearly there's going to be more of a focus on a passing attack. And that's not to say that Drew Petzing can't do that. It's not to say that he's not able to come up with certain schemes and certain philosophies that will allow Caleb to maximize and to develop Caleb. I feel that Drew Petzing can develop Caleb into becoming or taking that next step into stardom. And you look at the likes of Kyler Murray, who is all the talent in the world. Obviously, he's actually had a very, very good season. If you look at his season overall, Colin Murray posted his third highest QBR this year, his second highest completion percentage this year, and also his third highest passer rating of his career. And so that's credit to Drew Petzing for those things. He's improved vastly in those areas. So it's not to just say that, oh, Petzing's just focused on the run game and that's it, and that he's not innovative and creative in his passing game. No, it complements each other. And I think that's one thing that's been lacking here with the Bears is that even though we do want to see Caleb pass and we do want to see the explosive plays and the throws downfield and down 300 plus yard games, it just doesn't always happen because you seem to always go to a one-dimensional game. You don't have the run game that can complement it. And so if you have someone like Drew Petzing that can come in here and actually unlock that to the benefit of Caleb Williams, where he can become more comfortable in the pocket because the defense has to worry about the run game as well, then I think that benefits the team overall. I think that will cater to more wins, that will cater to more victories. And like I said, in the long run, all that matters is getting wins. Another big note, this is one that's big for me because you already know there's somebody that I want gone immediately on this Bears team. It says that it could be if Drew Petzing gets the head coaching job wherever he goes, is that obviously, you know, a lot of people want to bring their staff along with them, right? Well, because of how stellar their offensive line has been, it says that he could possibly bring along offensive line coach Clayton Adams with him wherever he lands. Now, Clayton Adams has done a stellar job with the offensive line in Arizona, which is why they've had a very good run game. The one thing that I've always harped on is the development of the offensive line under Chris Morgan. I have said it and I have said it again, and I'll continue to say it. I think Chris Morgan should have found his way out the door along with Matt Eberflus. I do not understand why he's still here. You see how atrocious our offensive line is. I'm not sitting here and saying that we have a bunch of first rounders all across the offensive line and that they've just been underdeveloped. No, I understand that we have pretty mediocre talent all across this line, and there's only a few people that probably will be staying on this line, whether it be Tevin Jenkins or if he leaves in free agency, the Darnell Wright and him continuing to evolve, Braxton Jones possibly still staying here. There's still a number of holes that need to be addressed, and so if you have a Drew Petzing that brings along with him a Clayton Adams, I think that also will be to the benefit of Caleb Williams in this offense as well, because now you have somebody who has developed a very good line in Arizona, and that could do the same here if that pairing comes together. And so that's an underrated thing as well with the signing of Drew Petzing. But I just wanted to kind of throw his name in the hat because I know yesterday me and Pat were going over the fact that a lot of these head coaches or a lot of these names coming for head coaching interviews probably don't deserve it. But the more and more I do a little bit deeper research on somebody like Drew Petzing, I believe that he could be in that last maybe number of players, number of people that Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren and the McCaskies and the organization look at when it comes to the final list of head coaches. And so we'll see. I want to get you guys thought on it. Do you think that Drew Petzing is worth maybe taking a shot as the next Bears head coach? What do you think he can bring to the table? You saw the stats and you saw the production of the team that he had over there in Arizona the past couple of years. I feel that this is someone who could be an underrated signing. Obviously, the question mark always is when it comes to those that doesn't have head coaching experience is he going to be better in his role as a head coach? Is he going to be capable of leading an entire team and putting more on his plate? As I've always said, less is more for some people, but you just never know. Maybe more is a better thing for Drew Petzing. Maybe he can be put in a position where he can be over an entire team and actually lead them to success. And so hopefully we'll see. We don't know. Obviously, my biggest candidate still is going to be Ben Johnson. I still think they need to go that route, but let's just say he's out of the running. I wouldn't mind a Drew Petzing coming in here and getting a shot at leading this team going forward. And so, again, want to get you guys' thoughts on it. And again, as always, smash that like button, subscribe to the Windy City Breeze. And until next time, stay safe out there, Chicago. This is your boy, Jordan JC, Mr. Meaty. I'm out.